Boleh, boleh.
Okay.
This is the one that you get from Kalam, is it? Did you go to Kalam last?
Yes, Ain and Kudin go to Kalam yesterday. Doctor,
Okay.
can we just proceed with the individual board because we already divided the task?
All right.
All right, okay.
But make sure that everything is standardized, like you are doing it in a group. That's why we have the template. You need to uh, distribute the task who are going to do the 3D model and so on. But it depends on your how you manage your group.
All right, okay, Doctor.
Okay. Sorry, Noreen, can you go upward to show the building? Okay, thank you. Okay, so good morning, Dr. Fat and my friends. I will be the first representative to explain my board group. So the building that we choose is the Masjid Teluk Manuk. It is located in the Narahatiwa, Thailand. And furthermore, I will explain about the location.
Have you put this one in the Google form for our studio? We try to avoid the things like last time, the misunderstanding.
Already done, Doctor.
All right. Okay. Good.
Okay, like I mentioned, it is located on the southern province of the Thailand, Narathiwat, and the Teluk Manuk village is one of the village that is located in the southern tip of the Thai region, with the northern regions of Malaysia on the peninsula. The village overlooks of the Ghats of Thailand, about 4 kilometers from the district capital, Beko, and 25 kilometers from the provincial capital, Natiu. Moving to the right side, there's the history. It is mentioned that the story is like divided by three parts. So the first things that is happened is um, there is a miracle, which is there is a wood near the area that didn't stop spinning until one of the ulama named Wan Hussein come to perform his prayer, and then that become the reason why they built the mosque there. And then it is follows one day. Sorry for the mistake. And then on the second part, um, the first thing that to see is the building is structured on the ground, and then after having a float, the people want to protect the material of the mosque, and a few years later, they renovate the mosque and they build it on a concrete column, like as you can see on the image on the top. They renovated, and in here they didn't use any technological tools. They only use human power. And lastly, another miracle is happening, that every time ulama Wan Hussein perform his prayer, both heavy poles on the side become lighter than before. Okay, going to the left, there is the design principle. So
Abi, the one that you have told us before this. What is the title? The title, the one that you have mentioned about
this one,
history.
Doctor, history.
Okay, the history. So I think on the history, it is important to have the year which is constructed. Can you get the year?
Okay, Doctor. Can Doctor?
Okay, usually for the history, we do it in timeline. For instance, what happened next? Because we were talking about this. Is it the same thing? This one? Background and history? Okay, the history topic will be covered by you only. Is it, Abi?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, so all the references that you have got about the history, you can compile it Okay, and perhaps you can do it in timeline. For instance, what happened in the first year of construction, or what do they did before this construction, for instance.
Okay,
Okay,
doctor.
so that it won't be confusing. And then the most important thing for everyone, I want you to put the references, because this one is not only taken from column, is it? You are also taking it from the internet sources, right? Okay, so everything that you showed to me, you need to put a reference. Okay, and then I think because your historical part, it isn't completed yet, is it? Because you were
Yes,
talking
doctor.
only talking until the heavy post at the side become lighter than before, and then what happens next? What does it has to do with this moves? Is it really significant? And it has something to do, for instance, because of this event, then the name of the moves is changed, for instance. Okay, it's okay. I think you can still search for more info and make it more organized. Okay, Abi? On the history part.
Okay, doctor.
All right.
Okay, we're moving to the design principle. So we found three design principle, which is balance, repetition, and also variation. So from the balance, we can see this element from the facade, the doors, and the number of the columns on both sides, and placement of the doors and windows. Next, there's the repetitions. For the repetitions, element can be clearly seen from the door placement and the structures of the vertical timber column. And lastly, there is the variations. This principle is shown in the carving, where is the carving in the upper of the window, and the front side has and the window frame has a variation of carving.
Is that all?
So far, yes, doctor.
Is there any symmetry exists? Are they right?
I think yes, doctor. There is.
Okay, so I think please add on. What else? What else, guys? The one that you have learned in your first year. I think it has been repeated, repeated a lot of time. Okay, so you need to study more on the principles. Okay, Abby, what else?
Okay, doctor.
What else do you have?
Oh, continue, doctor.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, moving to the right side. This is the side context. Can we just go down, Owen? Okay, thank you. And can you please focus on the map? Okay, so in here there is the side context. Um, I'll explain each of the numbers. So the first one from number one, it is the masjid itself. It is the first masjid without any renovated. And then on the number two, it is the one that get renovated. They add more space. And then the important things is from number four, there is the gateway to entrance the most area. And then following on the number 9. Number 9 is the stairs to go down to the river. So there is the river near the mosque. And then the last thing is number 12. The number 12 is the rumah penduduk, which is the villager's house. Can we go to the left?
Where is the main building?
The main building is number 1, Doctor.
Okay.
Okay, and it's before renovated, Doctor. And then they add more space, which is number 2.
Can you get the renovation, the year of renovation? For instance, for the first one, it is on the origin, right? So the origin is what year? And then I think if you get it from Kalam, they already have this the one that they call as the development of the building. For instance, the origin, and then for in what year they are renovated, and what are the spaces that they have added. For instance, for the second one, the one that you label as number 2, what are the things that they have added during the renovation?
Okay, Doctor.
It's a question, Abi.
Oh, for number 2, the space is just has functions for more what's jamaah?
Ah, is it
Yes,
to cater more people to pray at this area? Is it?
yes, Doctor.
Is there any other function other than praying?
Um,
Yes,
for
Doctor.
any activity for the villagers, Doctor.
Any occasion they?
Yeah. Wait. There's a picture of the additional part. Where is it?
Kanan.
Mana? Wait.
Bawah.
Mana I yang tunjuk, I will follow.
Hmm. Function of the building or
The additional parts of the building yang ditambah.
just for the prayer?
Gambar dia tak ada eh?
Hmm.
Can we show you later, Doctor?
It's okay. I just want everybody to be alert. Although you are doing this in your individual, on your own, but you need to know everything about the building that you have studied. Okay.
Alright, okay.
And then it's okay. It's good that you try to help Abi. So you try to cover each other. Although this one is individual task, right? So everybody needs to know everything. I think even in the assessment later, during the assessment later, the panel will also ask you. They can ask you anything about your building. So you need to know everything, right? And Abi, apart from only doing the labeling and so on, you also need at least try to elaborate more. For instance, where is the main building is located, and it is surrounded by the community and so on. So those are the things that you need to be more crucial. For instance, you are not only taking the one that have been presented in Kalam's magic drawing, okay? But you are the one who are going to do the observation and analyze the building, okay? Because this one is crucial for you to brought it into your project 2 later, because on the project 2 you also need to have this kind of knowledge based on the precedent studies and so on, right? So please elaborate more on this, Abi. At least you have some description about this layout, all right?
Okay, Doctor.
Awin,
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
sorry. Ya, ada gambar addition tu dekat kotak kuning yang tulis way forward tu.
Mana? Mana way forward?
Sini.
Okay. So if you can see from there, even the material for the roof, It
It's
is using
different.
the different, right? So
Yeah.
it indicate that it is an additional space, right? So perhaps Abi, these are the description that you need to this just add on this the one that you have got there, and then just add the description, okay?
Okay, doctor.
Because you are talking about the history and then the development of this malls, right? And even I think the choice of timber and so on is also different, because when we're talking about the one about the vernacular architecture and so on, they are taking the material from the local at that time, right? So I think it's okay. You the first thing you need to do is on the year. The year is very, the year they are constructed, the year they do the renovation and so on. It is very crucial. You try to find it. Okay, Abi?
Okay, doctor, noted.
Doctor, actually, the year akan explain by Saifuddin later.
Okay, but because Abi is doing on the history, so you need to know all this important year, right?
Okay.
Okay, okay, Abi, sorry.
Okay. Okay, now we go to the climate and environmental. So there's four things happen around the mosque, which the first is vegetation. Vegetation. So there's a large trees were surrounding the Teluk Manuk Mosque, which create natural fresh air. And then next one is door that fully openable, um, provide a good ventilations for the airflow, and it's also can show the river view and others view. And on the third things is wide openings. More than 6 windows are provided in the buildings, and it gives cooler fresh air to the mosque. And lastly, there is the flooring. Use timber planks for the floor, which has gaps between them, and it also can bring the air for the inner space. That's all, doctor, from me.
Okay, okay, jap. I think the one that you talk about the river view and so on, that is the description that you need to put in your layout plan. For instance, can you show your plan tapak? Sorry, site plan. Okay. Abi, I think can you translate this one, Abi? The labeling, for instance, they have the river over there, and then because you were talking about the use of doors because they want to get the river view. Okay, so you need to show that the mosque is located next to the river and so on. Do you understand, Abi?
Yes, doctor.
Can you translate this one? Because this one is written in Malay.
Oh, okay.
This one is the river, right? Okay, those are the things that you need to try to be more observant. Okay, when you are talking about the door is used to get the river view and so on. Can they get the view over here, right? And when you're talking about the cross ventilation and so on, try to put the diagrams and so on. For instance, if they have the large opening over here and large opening over here, can the wind go through over here? Okay, I'm not sure who are going to cover on this one. Perhaps not you, but those are the things that we are trying to urge you to do it. Okay, because we are learning from the one that have been built by somebody else. Okay, this is going to be one of your resident studies for your project 2 later. Okay, Abi, is that
Yes,
all?
yes, doctor, from me.
Alright, and then I think you try to figure out more because you are going to, after this you are going to provide one A1 presentation boards, right? So the content should be more so that your boards will not be empty. Okay, try to figure out more things, then try to uh, put some of the images. For instance, this one you can do the diagram. For instance, you are talking on this one number 1, right? So number one, where's the images? Number two, for instance, like this one. Okay, Abi?
Okay, doctor. Understand.
Right. Okay. Can we go to next presenter? Oh, Abi. Okay. First thing first. I would like to ask you about your. I think the flow of the presentation, the storytelling. Where do you start? Usually, we will start with the site plan, and then after that, we go to the detail. For instance, this site plan usually will come earlier before your principles. Okay,
Okay, doctor.
or it can be the first one should be your site plan, and then you talk about this layout of the overall complex of this mosque, and then you are talking you need to talk about the history, and then after that the elements and principles, it is the last one because it becoming more scope down. Okay, so you try to rearrange the flow of presentation. If not, it can be here and there. Do you understand, Abi?
Sorry, doctor. For the site plan, is it goes after the location? Because I also explained the location first.
I think you need to follow the common way of presenting. The first one is the scope, the overall scope. I think this one is on the Thailand, right? So you need to have the key plan. And Telok Manok, this one is located in which area of Thailand? Okay, and then you go to scope down more. You will go to this location, and then after location, you need to go to the site. Okay, after you go to the site, and then you talk about this building, and here comes the history and so on, and then the last one is your principles, because principles is more scope down on the building. Can you do that, Abi?
Yes, doctor. I've already noted.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Next. Is the next presenter?
Awin, pergi SBI.
Sekejap tak reti macam mana nak padam balik
Okay, sekejap. I think I'm the one who need to erase everything.
Right. Thank you, Doctor.
Right.
Okay. I will explain the structure and construction. Awin, zoom sikit.
Udin, I follow you, so you just do.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Okay. Okay, for this mosque, the space was divided into two. In the left is
Pudin, can you zoom in? Alright.
okay,
Okay.
sekejap eh.
Alright.
In the left space, a space, and the right mihrab. And here the tower called as muazzin for people to azan. Okay, let's refer to the label for the number one. Is the space of the name of this space called as Rumah Panggung. Okay, let's see the roof. The roof for this building we have two-layer roof. The larger one is the main roof and the smaller one is the main mirror of the main roof to make the mosque looks more aesthetic and to attract people. Okay, let's see for the number three for the foundation. For the foundation, the dimension is 1 meter tall and 25 centimeter thick. The purpose of this is because to avoid any wild animals and also to avoid flood. Okay, for this building, it was constructed using post and beam system. Okay. For this picture, as we can see, this building constructed on stilts. The reason is because to avoid fungus and termites, and second is to give maximum airflow, and third will be to minimize effect of moisture. Okay, so to add about this building, it didn't use any nails and only using interlocking system, which is in Malay we call as tanggam. Okay. For this building, we use king post as the roof structure. Reason is because rainwater flow more better in steep roof. I will explain about the ventilation. Okay, for the ventilation for this mosque, the openings, as you can see here, the openings was open from both sides to have the process of angin lintang. So as you can see here, the wind comes in from all directions. Let's see the right picture. The reason the tower was included in the design uh, is because to let the process of kesan cerobong. So as you can see, kesan cerobong is like uh, when the wind comes in, uh, all the temper heat released one hole. That's what is called as kesan cerobong. It's like macam ni cerobong. Okay. So okay, so then we move to the lighting. Okay, for the lighting in this mosque, we use a design of long roof design to protect from sunshade or direct sunlight during afternoon. Okay, okay, refer to the here. Okay, due to many light source in the playing space, the carving create variation pattern as you can see here. Um, the playing space here. Actually, this one and the black one is the line carving. That's why the reason why they put there because in playing space there's so many light source. So to give more aesthetics and to give more um macam nak cakap, uh, so during day they create a interesting pattern lah for this in the interior of this mosque.
May I know anybody in your group who are doing on the climatic consideration?
Climatic.
Is there anyone?
Climatic is the
Climate-
one climate is that the one we explain on why is they have the overhang, why they build it on stilts? Is that
Yes, because
considered as climate?
because I see from here, Pudin is talking about structure and construction. But he also mentioned about the climatic consideration, which is I think this one should be fall under the topic of climatic consideration. If nobody is doing it in your group, then give the topic to Pudin. So Pudin will have two topics, which is the construction and structure, and then another one is on the climatic consideration.
Okay, understood. Does the climate consideration can be under climate and environmental or not? It's more to structure, is it?
How does he relate it to the structure? Because you were talking about the motif, the pattern, and then how they put the openings and so on. That one is not on the structure and construction. The structure and construction, perhaps, Putin, I think this one is, you can get it from Kalam measure drawing. For the construction, for instance, what do they do before they construct the house? Is there any any what we call that the upacara. What is it in English?
The ceremony.
The ceremony, okay, the ceremony, the way of living that that affect the how do we do the construction. For instance, where before they do the construction, they have together all the communities there. They have the discussion, and then they take this all the material from the nearby forest, something like that. Okay.
Okay.
I think those are the things that you are missing on the construction part. Okay, and then on the ventilation, I think it falls under the topic of climatic consideration. It is not on the structure.
This one ke doktor yang ventilation lighting semua ni?
Or how do you read it back to the structure? Is that the ventilation that you get because you have a certain structure and then that's why you got this kind of ventilation? I think no, because you were talking about the opening. Opening is not part of the structure. And then on the jointings and so on, can you get the details, the drawing details on the construction?
For the construction details will be covered Awin. By Awin.
But you are taking the structure and construction topic, right?
Yep.
Doctor, we refer to the AR Chan work base. So if we can, start. Okay, for this, the one that this one they explain the detail of the construction, and then if I'm not mistaken, for the first, this one is the second part of their board. So the first one they explain regarding the, I'm sorry, do we have the board here? Please. Okay, sorry doctor. If I may, I open the Miro for that first. Okay, for the task distribution, we refer to many boards. So for this one, as we have for members, so my part is it's kind of similar to this one, but there's a few things that I need to cover too. So Pudding is gonna be home.
What is the big topic for the one that you have selected? Awin?
For me, mine is the construction details. We have the really details, and then because the details is related to the types of what types of tanggam they use. So this one will be covered by me. Our general ideas is our first ideas was Pudding is going to be explained on from roof to foundation, what is the name of the, starting from the foundation, and then what is the name of the beam, the joist, and the function, and kind of like a function of that. So
So he is talking about the construction and structure, and you are talking about the detailings, right?
yeah, the details of this building.
Okay. But I'm asking about the ventilation and so on. That's why I'm asking, is there anyone in your group who are doing on the climatic consideration? If
We
not,
have this climate and environmental. Can that be under this one too, or not?
suddenly it is under ABI, is it? Right. Try to avoid redundancy.
Okay.
Okay. Perhaps ABI's one is more talking about the layout. So that's why he is talking about all these greeneries around the house, of the views and so on. So it is not really climatic consideration. It is more on uh, the placement of the building and the layout of the building. Because he is mentioning about the site plan, right? So he wants to elaborate more on the site plan. That's why he is talking about all the riverside all the greenery surrounded buildings and so on. Okay, so that one is okay. So perhaps you just need to refine the topics. Okay, and then for the Pudding's one, you are going to talk about the structure and construction. I think Awin will not cover on the ceremony that they do before the construction and so on, right?
Yeah.
Because you are doing the detailings, the jointings and so on. Okay, but Pudding will be going to talk about a more broader scope. Okay, before you go into details, kan?
Okay. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think and then if there is nobody is doing on the climatic consideration, you can just add on one topic for Pudding, which is structure and construction, and another one is on the climatic consideration. Okay, so he can talk about the ventilation and lighting and so on. Not only ventilation and lighting lah. Perhaps you can talk about the what else on the climatic consideration. Perhaps you can talk about some of the materials and so on. Material is covered by who?
It's by me.
Awin. So
Yeah.
please make sure that there is no redundancy between you and Pudding. Because it
Okay.
is yours and Pudding is quite similar, but Pudding is talking on the broader scope. But you are the
Yeah.
one who are doing
Touching
on
the
the
detail.
you are doing on the, you have scoped down things and then you are going to cover this one. Okay.
Okay.
What else? I think because Pudding haven't presented about this one, structural member, non-structural members and so on. How about the spatial arrangement? The plan?
The arrangement will be covered by Ain.
Okay, alright. So Pudding, what else do you have?
Okay. I continue.
Hmm.
Okay, for this diagram, as you can see, the three king poles, or we call also the second component for the roof will be called as lay. Ini it's like most significant for Patani's architecture. Pemeli is like tiered roof.
I think you also can do this because this one is on the drawings, right? And then you the perspective, the image of this perhaps this one, and then you have the image. Then familiar, you have the image, something like that.
Oh,
And then like this one, you have ventilation panels, right? So how does it ventilation panels look like in real life? Because we cannot see from the drawings, it is too small, right? So because you were talking about the wind can directly goes into the pattern and so on. For instance, they have this kind of patterns and then the wind can flow over here, right? So you need to have this image,
okay.
right?
Doctor, you mean this one?
Hmm?
Oh, you mean this one?
Anything. I think after this, you just rearrange your board.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I will continue. Okay, the first roof layer is wider, is because to covers the entire building, while the second roof layer is smaller. So the function is to only to beautify the most building, which stands on a land of approximately 200 square meters. Okay, then I will explain about the structural members and non-structural members. So for the structural members, we have pillars. So for this mosque, we have 26 pillars. And then we have rasu. Rasu I will include the English names. So for the rasu is six, six in the main space, and four will be in the mihrab. And then Galaga will have five in main and three in mihrab. And last is Alang, five is in main space and three is at mihrab space. So for the non-structural members, we have floors, walls, stairs, opening, and geram, and I will include the picture later. Okay, so this one is the timeline for the mosque. what's the renovation and so on. So in first renovation is in 100. So there is no raso and gelegar system on that time. The floor is directly on the floor, on the ground, and it only have basic structure like tiang and wall. And so for the wall, they use only the outer layer of the material is only the outer layer of timber block and using daun cucur. And for the mihrab, design for the mihrab called as limas, the name of the design. For this in early stage for this mosque, the pillars is in using traditional measurement called 2 hasta, and the roof is using daun cucur at first and then change to rumbia leaves because there is so many rumbia leaf around that time, around the surrounding near to the mosque. So second renovation will be around 1750 and 1850. So as you can see here, before this, the floors is on the ground, now is elevated. And, and time juga rasu and gutter system already applied is because for safety purpose and flood, and also third roof is changed from salah. Sorry, this one cancel. The roof changed to single rod tiles, and also we have bridge as you can see here. If as you can see here is there is a small bridge. It's like a T. So third renovation will be around 1850 and to 1950. The timber pillars has been replaced with concrete foundation, as you can see here. Well, under the mosque, there is concrete foundation. Front stairs changed to balasa. Front stairs here, and for the roof, space was connected to the mihrab. If you see the second picture, the second position, there is the roof is separated, and during renovation, the roof is connected. Okay, so another renovation they added is the tower has been built at the mihrab, as you can see here, the tower for the people to azan. For the current renovation, they use they added screw to strengthen the locking systems, and there has new stairs, also the new extension for praying space at the right, the longer one.
Is it really current?
Yep.
I think the
It's
current
the
one is 2020, 2021. Or you
mm,
mean the current one during the measured drawing?
the current one yang sekarang ni lah. Sekarang dah tak ada lagi renovation, so this one the last lah. This one will be the last terkini, current.
Can you get the Google image view for this building? So that
Yeah.
so that it really current, because the one that you have shown here is current. The current during the measured drawing was conducted, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. If you really want to to talk about the current one, you need to find it in the Google. The one is from Google's review, is it? Or the
It's
internet sources?
internet
It's from the
sources.
sources.
Okay.
Do
So that was
you
the
mean we
current.
have to take the street view from the map? Is it?
Try to figure out if you can see, if you know the location, you can get the image.
All right. Okay, that's it.
I have a question because Abi talking about history. So is it this one will be belong to Abi or me?
That's why it is really crucial to make everyone clear about the work distribution, because I don't want an empty, a really empty presentation box. Okay, you can I think you can cover this one, but the flow of presentation, this
Hmm.
one should be the first one that you need to talk to in your presentation. It is like the continuation from Abi. Abi is talking about the history until the site plan, right? And then this one is the first thing that you need to explain in your board on the renovation part, on the development of the building.
You mean the first part of my board or the
The first part of your
Of this
presentation board.
Doctor,
so,
can okay for the because Abi need to explain based on the timeline, right? So can Abi just generally put the images and then the years, stated the years, but the description and the details of what has been changed or that can that be fall into can be other buildings or how? Do you
Uh,
understand what I mean?
can too, but it will be redundant, right? You are going to show the same images, right?
Yeah,
Um, try to discuss in your group how do you want to arrange those things.
right. Okay.
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 Try to avoid the redundancy, but it's okay. I think the one that has been mentioned by Awin is true. Or perhaps Abi only can mention which year the renovation started and then which year it is originally constructed and so on. Okay, it's very brief, but Fudin
Okay.
will explain more in your presentation board. And then this one is the first topic of your presentation board, Fudin, the building development. All right, and then after that you scope down into the structure and construction. And mind you, the one that I have highlighted the construction methods is that they are using the gotong royong.
The ceremony, is it?
Yes, because it haven't been talked about anybody else in your group, right?
Yeah.
So you might miss the socio cultural part. You are not only talking about the architecture of this building, okay? Because like I said before, you need to fulfill the requirement of this assignment on how do this building reflect to this social culture of this community. Okay.
Okay.
And
Alright.
even I think Abi also need to mention about the local community, how many Islam Muslim believers around the ni. And then Abi, you need to talk about the history of where is this building located? Is it in Teluk
Patani.
Manuk? Patani. So
Yeah.
perhaps Abi, you need also to study about Patani's history and so on.
Okay.
Patani histories. Okay. Okay. Try to develop more on the flow of presentation so that your presentation in the group it's become very systematic. If not, they are just like you are jumping here and there. Okay.
Okay.
So for Pudin, this one is the first topic, the development of the buildings, and then you go
Okay.
into your structure and construction, and then you also need to talk about the climatic consideration,
Okay, okay.
right?
Okay. Doctor, sorry, I forgot to present last one. From base to top construction, from below, we will have flat footings. To the top, concrete arms, column, secondary beam, floor beams, timber boards, long beam, king post, rafter, purlin, and the top what will be ridge beam. The picture I will add it later.
Can you show it in isometric or isometric?
I
Can.
think can.
Because we haven't like the SketchUp is it's not finished yet. I mean it's not started yet. We just got the drawing yesterday. So we'll start making the SketchUp today.
It's
And then
okay.
we do the exam.
So perhaps you can provide the isometric, and then if you want to do some additional part, you can just blow out some of the details and then make it like images like I said before. The one
Right.
that we use arrow to indicate this is the detail apa tu blowout of that particular area.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then I will move to Awin lah.
Alright.
But
Okay.
I think Awin is the last one, right?
Uh Oh, should I be the last one? Because okay.
That's why you need to know the flow of the presentation. It started from the very general scope and then you scope down. And
Because
I mean so talking about the spatial arrangement, right? Who is talking about the plan? Because you haven't discussed about the
I
plan.
is going to be talking about the plan.
Okay. Uh, because usually if you see your presentation board, okay, we started with the key
Floor
plan. We started with the key plan, location plan, site plan, and plan. Okay, after plan we are talking. After plan, then we are talking about the structure and construction and all the detailings and so on. So you must make sure that the flow is there. If not, like I said, it will be jumping from here and there. Okay.
Yeah, okay, understood.
So I think Ain will be the second or the third presenter. I'm not sure because she hasn't presented. Okay, so we'll see where will Ain sit in. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just explain mine first, and then the next script we explain it in flow. Alright. Okay, for mine, I'll be covering the I'll be starting with the architectural influence. Okay. Uh, the first one is influenced by the Javanese from Indonesia, because Ulama Wan Husin was he is originally from the Pulau Sumbawa in Java, and then he went to the Patani to, like, because he's a ulama, so he went there to berdakwah to the Patani people. And then because Patani also is a place for most Muslim during the earlier time. And then because he wanted to have the element and architecture from where he came from, so based on the history that Abi told, during his prayer, and that's why he wanted to build the mosque, and because of that he wanted to have the element and architecture of Java to, like, to remind him that he's from there, and also to make the people there know that Ulama Wan Husin is from there, and that's why he added the element and architecture from his original country. And then what type of element of architecture that he uses, he used the one of the Java architecture element, which is a slight curve roof, which is called as this type of roof is called as a binaan kaum Batak. For now, for these days and during the old days, we can usually find it in Bali, because the binaan kaum Batak, there's a majority part of binaan kaum Batak there in Bali. So this is the type of the type of the slight curve roof they use. And then the second one is Melayu Campa Kuno. This one is stated in the Kalam. So the Melayu Campa Kuno is a kerajaan Campa. And then what type of things that that influence the building is, they use the Candi Maisan at Indrapura as the inspiration. So it's stated there in the Kalam that they say the general form of this building, as you can see, like, sorry, wait, uh, okay, as you can see, this one is the general form of the building, right? The main space, and then the roof, and then the smaller roof, which mirror the main roof. Okay, the form is, like, it became inspiration. The inspiration, the form is a bit similar, and then the type of roof, okay, like that. And then the second one is they use this pomele and some, sorry, wait, pomele and some, right? The name of that.
So,
Sorry. Oh, so sorry. Okay. And then the second one is the pomele and som, this type of things that at the end of the roof. Okay, that one also became the inspiration, and also this is pomele. Oh yeah, the sorry. Yeah, this Pumele and so. This one also inspiration is from this the Candi Meso in Rapura. Okay, and then move along to the what kind of material they use. Okay, just like what Pudi stated before, the roof it's been changes into three types of materials. So the first one is chucho. Oh, this one is not exactly the chucho tree. Okay, so why they use chucho during that time? It's easy to find and near the area, and then the chucho provide cool air for ventilation during that time because they didn't know about the other things that they can use for roof, and then during the year after years they discovered the rumbia leaves. So rumbia leaves is long lasting than the chucho tree, and it's durable than the chucho tree. So in it's raining or what, the rumbia leaves is better than the chucho tree. So they decided to change. And then after years and years, rumbia trees uh, is not appropriate. It's not tak sesuai for climate after years. And then they use the Singora tiles. This one is the blow up pattern. This one is the example of Singora tiles. Why they use the Singora tiles is because and Singora tiles is common roof tiles that they use in Thailand, and also the place that produce the Singora tiles is near the mosque. It's in Patani also. So it's easier to get, and also it's a common roof tiles that they use in Thailand. So that both can describe that have the Thailand architectural elements in this material. And then for the first and then this one, sorry, not this one. And then they use the concrete stump. The concrete stump built on street, just like what Pudin said, to avoid fungus. And then okay, and then they use the kayu nibong. Kayu nibong is like a bolt. It's like a nail, but a timber type of nail that they use as a pasar and bolt to connect it with the kayu jeriau and the roof structure. I'll explain it later in the construction details that the roof structure they use many types of tanggam and bolt. So this is the type of materials they use, kayu nibong. And then the chengal wood. Okay, this one is the chengal wood. Chengal wood is the main structure of the building. It's a durable and high quality of chengal wood. And then the chengal wood also is to support. They use this one. Sorry, wait, okay. So they use chengal wood because it's easier. It's durable and high quality. Also, I read it in the Kalam, information that they got from Kalam. The reason why they use this Chengal wood because it's easier to get at that time. If you can see from the Pelan Tapak, okay, this one. It's easy to it's near the area. They got so many types of many Chengal wood there. And then how they carry the Chengal wood is by the anak sungai. So they move the cengawood from where the exact place of cengawood, and then they use the anak sungai instead of carrying or using any transportation. They use the sungai, and then that's how the cengawood is transferred from the original place to the site. And then okay, and then the cement, the pemele and the som that uh, at the end of the roof and at the top of the roof is made from a cement.
Cement or concrete?
Sorry, concrete. Wait,
Is it only cement?
sorry?
Is it only cement? Concrete is the mixture of cement and
Yes. Concrete is a mixture of cement and sand, right?
yes. Is it concrete or
Okay.
cement?
Later I confirm. I'm not sure.
Okay, Awin, before you proceed, I think I just want to I want to ask you, how do you differentiate the original material with the one that they have added? For instance, you want to explain about the roof, right? So they are not using the three type of roof in the same time, right?
Yeah.
So how do you want to differentiate?
Um. And do you mean how I would maybe my idea was I'll make the diagram from SketchUp and then I put the blow up from the blow up of the current roof gonna be the blow up from my SketchUp. So my SketchUp is gonna be the Singora tiles roof, and then I put like a bit of timeline. I mean, the first one is what material, the second one is what material, and then the single tiles is the latest material, like that.
Okay, so it's like the same like the column and so on. Do they have this concrete stump for the original one?
No, the original one was built on ground.
Okay, so you need to consider now on that one. How do you want to rearrange or how do you want to show the development of materials? If not, they are everything is the same. Okay.
All right. Okay, and then move along to the type of tools they
How
use.
about this the one that they put ornaments on it, the patterns, the motif one? I think
the
they are using
material.
I think they are using the different kind of timber.
Yeah.
The wood.
So I
Okay,
forgot about
because that one is also one of the important elements in this building.
Okay.
The motif and the ornaments.
Okay. All right. And then can I continue, Doctor?
Yes.
All right, and then move along to the preservation or the types of tools they use. Okay, for this building, they use simple traditional hand tools made from the Patanese community. Most of the hand tools are made from the Patanese community. They usually use the chengal wood, as I mentioned before, and the main material of the structure is like timber. Okay, and then the characteristics of chengal. Why they use chengal? Okay, and then the first tools is the traditional chisel. Okay, a bit description of the arts and craft. Arts and craft means a lot to Thai people, and they believe arts and craft mirror that reflects the way of their life. So chisel is like a main tools that every carpenters in Thailand have. So this one how can I say, the chisel is like your main tools. Okay. Okay, chisel is the main tools. Okay, yeah. So the chisel is just so important for the Thai people. Okay, and then the second one is the axe, the old axe, and then this one is a old handmade axe. This one is not the specific types of axe that they use to build the mosque, but it's old handmade lah. This one is the one that I could find. Okay. This axe is used to cut to split the Shanghai wood into pieces and to make the parts of masjid, such as the main column, the beam, the trusses, and the roof structure. And then the second one is hand jigsaw. And they didn't use any technique, the new method. The hand jigsaw works as a tool to make straight or curved cut details, usually around the ornaments or around the to the frame. This one, you do detail at the window, wall, or doors to cut the board panel. And then a small hole. It's a really small one, not like the one we used for planting. This one is to help with any small digging that they need to make a hollow things at the timber. And yeah. And then move along to the
Don't
construction.
they use hammer for the
Um,
chisel?
they use hammer for the ornaments. Do you mean?
Yeah, because they are using the pahat tu kan, the chisel tu kan.
Uh-huh.
Then they use hammer to
Oh yeah, to kotak the end of the chisel, right? I'm not sure.
Please check.
Okay, alright. Okay, and then okay, the construction details. Okay, I'll start from the G1. It's the kerangka bumbung menara. So this one is the mihrab, the one that they used to for azan and the ventilation. So this one is the G1. I make the pop-up detail from SketchUp nanti. Okay, so this one is the one that they connect the kim post and the ceiling beam. Okay, so this is how they connect with the roof structure. Okay, and then the type of tanggam, this one I will explain later. Okay, and then the G2 is the kerangka bawah lantai menara. This one is called the menara or the mihrab. Okay, how they connect this one is explained is right here. So the first one is the ceiling. The floor joist. This one, and then this one is the post, and then they use a tanggam. So the A will be inserted into C, and then the B will be inserted into this type of just a hollow space they use to make the B inside the C. And the same one for the D and B. There's another type of mortise, I think, here at the end of the part, and then this one is they connect the beam with this another post. Okay, and then one is the G4, sorry, G1, G2, okay, G5. G5 is this one. Mana bulat dia? Okay, this one is the kerangka bawah. Sorry. Kerangka bawah tengok. Oh. Nama dia. Kejap. Sorry. Okay, it's a butiran tanggam penjuru tiang. Okay, sorry. Butiran tanggam penjuru tiang, this one. Okay, this is how they connect the post and then the horizontal beam with the roof structure there. Okay, this is the connection. This one is the post, the B, and then they use some tanggam thing, and then yeah, it's like that. I make the pop-up a detail lah before like this. Okay, and then the G3 is the butiran kerangka penyambung dan alang. Z3 is here. Okay, this one is different from this one because this one is they need to connect it with the end of the roof, right? So this one is how they connect the middle. This one is the main post, the horizontal beam, and then the structure that connects the roof. Okay, so this is the how they use. This is types of tanggam, and then they also use this mortise and joint, and then this one is the bolt that they use to make sure the structure is more, it didn't move and it's stronger. And then the last one is the butiran tanggam alang dengan tiang bumbung. This one G4. Okay, because this one is different from G5 and G3 because this one connects the post and then with the main the king post that support the roof. So this one is the construction detail is different because there's a bigger part that they need to support there. So they use this one is a type of tanggam also. This one is the main post, and then this one is the two types of beam that merge, that stay on each other. Okay, so moving on to the jointing and tanggam. There's 4 types of tanggam siku, tanggam melebar, memanjat and gemindang. I'll translate it. Okay, and this one, the first one is mortise and tenon with the Malay name is lubang and puting. Okay, this one is how the first The first part is the tenon, and then the second one is the mortise. The mortise is a hollow part, a rectangular part, or any, they can use any shape lah, like maybe a square, any types of shape. So this one, the tenon is the putting, that the shape is need to be done so to make sure that this tenon can fit in the mortise. So for example, it's like this one. Okay, this one is the tenon, this one is the mortise, but this one they added another another type of tanggam, which is they put another tools, which is the bolt to secure this post. This one will be will be inserted in here and there. So this one is mortise and tenon type of tanggam. And then the second one is tongue and groove. Tongue and groove is a basic traditional floor jointing for the wood flooring. So it's the same concept, but the style of the tanggam, the hollow part is different. And then the tanggam temu, this one is a very common and majority type of tanggam they use. Okay, such as this one is tanggam temu, where they put the beam into the post. This one, it can be any shape. So yeah, that one is tanggam temu. An example for tanggam temu. And then dowel and joint, which is tanggam penetap, connects barrier and joints. This one is also the function of the tanggam is basically all the same, but this one is for the heavier structure. This one is for the light structure. This one is for the heavier structure. I'll arrange it I'll arrange it properly later. Okay, so and then the tanggam puting and guarding. Okay, this one is for the butiran kerangka bumbung menara. As you can see, there's many types of they craft the post to fit in so they can connect many types of beam. So there's gonna be many types of beam that with different way. So this one is gonna be horizontal. This one is gonna be above it. So that's why there's also many this tanggam they make. Alright, that's all for me.
Can I ask you something? How
Yeah.
did they get this circular, the one that you have shown in your tangam, the number 4? How do they
One,
get
two,
this
three, four.
kind of?
This one is not the exactly. I mean, this one is the picture that I found at Google, but they didn't use the bullet one. They just the square types of door.
I'm asking you, how do they get the circular part of it?
Sorry, I cannot understand.
The round shape, the
Oh,
round shape. Well, how do they get it
uh,
during the time?
you mean the door? Is it? Uh, um, I'm not sure. I'm afraid to say, but I'll search it
Perhaps,
later.
perhaps anyone knows about it, because you are going to see it in the pattern and the motif. They have all this kind of a round shape or hole, something like that. How do they get it? Anyone has any idea on that?
Maybe they carve it using the chisel, but it's a long work lah. But
Okay,
I'm not sure. I will search it.
I think you are half right, because they are using the chisel, but they have this kind of nail chisel, something like looks like our nails,
Uh-huh.
you know. So it can create some kind of a circular pattern, round shaped things, and so on. Perhaps you can find it. Nail chisel.
Nail
Pahat
chisel.
kuku. Pahat
Oh
kuku.
yeah, okay.
So the things the chisel is looks like our nail, right?
I
So
see.
perhaps you can this is additional knowledge lah. It's good if you can relate it back to the pattern that they show in their motifs and so on. Okay, because
Alright.
usually it is used by the wood covers. I think wood covers they have this set of nail teasers with different size so that they can use it, especially when they are doing the kind of floral pattern and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I want to know, any one of you has covered on the topics of ornaments, motif, and patterns?
Ain is going to do explaining them.
Okay. Alright. So I think Awin is okay already, but perhaps because you haven't done your SketchUp and so on, right? So
Yeah.
it's quite empty.
Yeah.
If I can see from here. So try to relate back to the one that you have mentioned with your SketchUp later, and then
Okay.
please put the SketchUp image and also the real image each,
Right.
right? Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Can I present first so that we can know what is still missing in the whole presentation?
Oh, okay. So I need to stop presenting, is it?
Yes. But I think yours is going to be the final. I think yours is the fourth board for your group because you are
Oh.
talking about you are very scoped down into the
Okay.
small detail, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. You only left with 23 minutes before your class.
Oh. Sorry, doctor. Do you mean I need to stop presenting tadi or how?
No. I only have you have only 20 minutes.
Okay. So for Ain right now.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Ain.
So I'm going to present about the spatial arrangement and the ornament carving. So I'm going first with the spatial arrangement. It's merely that in this section they have two parts of space. The first one is ruang mihrab for the imam, and the second one is the ruang solat utama for the jemaah to pray.
Ain, after this you are going to change it in English, right? The ruang solat utama, ruang mihrab.
Okay.
Okay, even the keratan YY.
Okay.
You need to, I think
Section.
for everybody. Okay.
For the mihrab part, it is the part that is located at the front to indicate the focal point in accordance with its function to indicate the direction of Qibla. So it means like the Qibla is in here, so it is the front to as the direction of the prayers like Qibla lah kan. And for the mihrab space, it becomes the focal point for the imam to lead the prayers and preaches a sermon. The congregational space became the main space for the makmum, which is in the ruang solat utama.
May I know, is this the most is facing Qiblat?
Most facing Qiblat. I'm
I
not
think
sure.
Abi can explain on this, Abi, because you are talking about the site plan. If the most is facing Qiblat, and then you need to just put in your description later. So please.
Okay, doctor.
Right?
Okay, next. It is built for the spaces that using a symmetrical condition to create a feeling of calm and harmony to the congregation who comes to pray. As we can see, for the section XX, it is a symmetrical part, which is like for the right and left, it is same spaces. And in addition, for the plan, the small part is for the ruang mihrab, and the biggest space is ruang jemaah, and it is separated between the male part and the female part by the curtain to avoid the direct contact between man and woman. For the female part, it is 2/5 uh um the whole 2/5 over the whole floor area in this plan.
Where
And
is
for
the ablution part?
sorry,
Where is the ablution area? Ablution area, the
It's
tempat wuduk.
it's outside it's not included in the ruang mihrab and ruang jemaah. Before this, because they just take wudu at the river, there's a wudu place near the river. So until now they didn't include the ablution area in this ruang jemaah.
So I think this one is very, very crucial because ones need to take the wudu before they go to this,
Yeah.
right? So the activity also, you need to include the activity on the ablution part because you were talking about they take the ablution from the river before this, and then they change it to somewhere near the mosque and so on.
Okay.
Because it is
And
one important element in mosque design. Why is
sorry,
that?
sorry.
Excited. Oh, belakang.
Oh, belakang excited. Sorry.
You
Okay.
have pom-pom girls over there.
Yeah, I have a pom-pom girl in my room. Supporter. Okay, can I continue?
Yes.
Okay, for the activity, as we can, it is for speech, ceramah, reading Al-Quran and also writing kitab in this mosque for the activity. And I will move to the ornament or carving. For the introduction of wood
Yes,
carving.
Ainan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you were talking about very interesting things, which are the activities. I don't think this is the only activities that they do in the mosque, right? Not only praying on the ablutions. I think you were mentioning about the community ceremony and so on before this. And do they have some like the one the religious preachers come to teach them on to how to read Al-Quran and so on? Where do they do it?
Doctor, for that,
Yes.
it is separate. So there's the room for the ruang bacaan. So I think it's for the users to read the Quran.
So
You
where
can
is
go
it?
to the side plan, Awin,
So that's why I think there are a lot
in
of
my board,
activities still missing.
in my board.
Wait, then it's it's lag a
Okay,
bit. Okay, dah.
okay, it's on the number 13, Doctor.
On the 13.
Yes, that's the ruang bacaan. And for the number 6, it's like religion school, Doctor. I don't know
Is
what's
it
the
is it renovated after sometimes or is it original or the original one is only the main building?
it's renovated, Doctor.
So perhaps I think for Ain you can do the first one is only talking the main building, okay? And then the development in what year they added the additional building for these additional activities and so on, perhaps. Wait, Ain.
Mana boleh?
Okay, because your activities is too limited.
So even though it's other building, so need to masukkan sekali. So, ke
Because it is
it is more
part of
focus on
or what you can do is only some additional diagram on the activities. Okay, so not necessarily you has to repeat the one that have been presented by Abi, but only you add on some diagram about the activities and where does it conducted.
okay.
And perhaps I think you can do some silhouettes of people who are praying. Macam usually students they tend to do this kind of silhouette people are. Sekejap Let's say people are praying over here. So we know that this is the kiblat, for instance. You understand? Okay.
Apa?
So try to put macam some people over here, some people over here, and so on. Try to put human figure so that your mosque will be there are more soul in your mosque. If not, it's like an abandoned buildings only. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
To present about the ornament carving. So the introduction of wood carving, it is produced by Patani Malay community during the mid-16th century. It is a strong art that flourished from interaction and incorporation of ideas but still preserve the Islamic identity. For the source of wood carving, it is the motif from the plants, universe, cosmic elements, and also the calligraphy. It is symbolize the appreciation of people in ancient times. And the motif from plants become icons or symbol of Patani Malay architecture also. As you can see, like the almost most there no motif from human animal because Islam forbid living carving. So for the carving in this mosque, they're divided by the two, tebuk tembus and the tebuk timbul. I will figure out in English later. Tebuk tembus is the perforation on wood and panel, and the tebuk timbul, perforated and carved. They will use bunga tepang flower is the Malay craftsman portrait form of flora to abstract.
I think
And
direct piercing and what is that? Direct piercing is tebuk tembus.
direct placing.
I'm not really sure, but I think direct piercing. P Piercing.
Oh, PIER.
But you'll need to check it later. Okay.
And the most carving flower is they use tepang flower. It is a Malay craftsman portrait form of flora to abstract. It is actually have 5 petals, not 4. They abstract one petal to create unity into the carving. It is similar craft components are repeated and laid in symmetrical form in one axis to create balance and unity. Um, the most tepang flower is located at the the most located in the front of the mosque, and at the top of the wall, the carving will use universe motif. Is it right? Kealaman lah, something like that. And in the pintu gerbang, main entrance of the mosque, they will gabungan tebuk tembus and the tebuk timbul, and use the carving in the main entrance of the mosque. And okay, this is the where the carving part were located. First, the calligraphy of Allah is at the minaret of the roof with the plant motif. And for the C7, this is the type of carving. So this is the placement where the carve was. And this one, I didn't have any name, but this is the placement. This is one CF, C5 in here. The main attraction of this mosque is about the concept of kembang kuncup in different perspective, which is like the right elevation, and for the front elevation they will use different design of carving, different of concept of kembang kuncup. The concept that the carpenters use for this ornament is kembang kuncup, especially in right elevation and the left elevation. As you can see, dia makin kembang and kuncup back. Blooming flower. Same goes to the left elevation from D1 to D8. Sorry for the inappropriate drawing. I will draw it later. And then each side have different design like I said before. The design is based on each carpenter's cavity. That's why it is different, but the main concept is kembang kuncup. They will also use geometric carving as influenced by the Arabic, especially in front of the main entrance. And for the carving, it is not work as the aesthetic part of the design. It is also work as the ventilation panels, plays a functional role in blowing air and light into the building, and also to add beauty with their relief and perforated carving. As for the swastika motif, front door of Teluk Manuk, This one is an example of the reel that I took in Kalam, model from Kalam. Enhanced by 4 insert carved with motif of flower and leaf from unknown species. I think that's all. Oh yeah, I forgot about the stone. It is located at the corner part of the roof. It is also have some carved. They have 10 stone, 4 in here and 4 in here, and another 2 stone is in the bubble mirror. Here. Yeah, I think that's all. For my part.
Can you relate back to the Islamic influences? Why all these things are carved using floral and geometric patterns only?
Sorry, that's it.
Because all the patterns and ornaments, they are only using the floral and geometric, right? So
And also,
perhaps,
since like back to the Islamic pattern, they would use some geometric influence from the Arabic.
okay, perhaps you can take some of the Islamic teaching who will need to omit or try to avoid doing something which is related to fauna, animals, and so on. Okay, because that one is should be avoided in Islamic teaching. So perhaps you can take perhaps one verse from the Al-Quran and so on, talking about this kind of Islamic teaching on need to, because we cannot do the ornaments which are related to animals and so on, right? So try to relate back to the Islamic teachings on that one. Okay. Okay, but seeing from this one, I think yours can also be the final board for this one because you are also talking about the very specific and details about the ornaments and so on. Okay, it's okay. You can be the fourth board. So Awin is going to be the third board, right? And then, what else? What are the things that are still missing? I think on the history part tadi kot yang Abi you need also to talk about the history of the place and location and so on, and how does those relate back to the, okay, this one is relate back to, what is it? Is it about the Patani? Have you talked about Patani architecture and so on?
No. This one is a general information of the Masjid Al Hussein. The year is constructed and
Al
for the
Hussein
main
is
community. It's another name. This building have 2 names, 3
okay.
names.
So I think that one is this one need to be put in Abi's
Abis
board.
system.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think you need to sit down in one group first and then try to figure out ways on how the flow of the presentation. You need to cover everything, but please make sure that the flow of presentation is clear so that we can appreciate more on the one that you are going to present later. If not, as I said before lah, it is going to be jumping from one to another. Okay, so we cannot appreciate the storytelling and then the whole ideas of this building. Okay. Okay, I think it is a good presentation, although you are having a very limited time because you are only did this one starting from yesterday, is it?
Yeah. Some information is from the website and then we reconfirm it from Kalam.
Alright, okay. You only left with 5 minutes before your class, so I think that's all from me good because I have touched in everything that you have presented. So just try to make sure that everything is in order. Okay?
Okay, Doctor. Sure.
Alright. So on upcoming Thursday, I just mentioned it here now. Upcoming Thursday, I think you will provide a Miro link. Perhaps we set a deadline in the morning. So you just submit the Miro link and then you need to go to all the lecture input because it's very important for you to know the timber construction, because we have given you the lecture input on the vernacular architecture, and then Dr. Lim will talk about the traditional architecture. But the one that we have from the external seminar they are talking about the contemporary building and how to use timber in contemporary architecture and so on. Okay, and the use of modern technology in timber construction, blue laminated timber and so on. So it is important for you to know all about it for your project too. Okay, so this one, okay, you can just proceed after this. If you have anything, you can just PM me lah. Alright, so I think that's all for group 1. So we'll have okay, you need to go to your class, and then I'll see you on 2 p.m. later for the group 2. Okay, alright.
Okay, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Right.
Thank you,
Doctor.
Doctor.
Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor.